Spoiled brat first son, Hunter Biden, that's a great intro, has dropped his lawsuit against two IRS whistleblowers who publicly testified about the details of the tax investigation into Biden. The suit was dismissed with prejudice, meaning it cannot be refiled. Whistleblowers Gary Shapley and Joe Ziegler expressed frustration at not being able to meet Hunter head on in court, saying intimidation and retaliation were never going to work. We truly wanted our day in court to provide the complete story, but it appears Mr. Biden was afraid to actually fight this case in a court of law after all. His voluntary dismissal of the case tells you everything you need to know about who was right and who was wrong. Okay, James, I got to go to you being the lawyer in the room here. What do you think about this, the fact that the case was dismissed? Why do you think Hunter Biden dismissed?
When you know you're going to lose, you just kind of pull out, right? So, and I think that this is a validation for the whistleblowers, the claims that they came out against this. And yeah, look, Hunter Biden is a loser. He was going to lose if this case continued. And so I'm glad that they dismissed it with prejudice to the point that it cannot be brought up again.
Yeah, we also know that during President Trump's cabinet meeting this week, Secretary of State Marco Rubio revealed disturbing information about the Biden State Department and how the deep state retained information on Americans, including a Trump administration official, to paint them as vectors of disinformation.
We had an office in the Department of State whose job it was to censor Americans. And by the way, I'm not going to say who it is. I'll leave it up to them. There's at least one person at this table today who had a dossier in that building of social media posts to identify them as purveyors of disinformation. We have these dossiers. Just think about the Department of State of the United States had set up an office to monitor the social media posts and commentary of American citizens to identify them as vectors of disinformation, when we know that the best way to combat disinformation is freedom of speech and transparency.
I mean, Elle, this is like authoritarianism. I mean, this is anti-American, where they're literally building these dossiers against Americans, monitoring their social media, quote unquote, in the name of disinformation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so here's how it works. The State Department, up until recently, when Secretary Rubio got rid of it, had this group called the Global Engagement Center. And it would partner with people at Stanford University called the Election Integrity Partnership. And the way it worked was the feds would go to Stanford and say, hey, here's these posts or these people online that we think are spreading misinformation. And then Stanford would compile a dossier and take that dossier over to the big tech companies, to Twitter, to Facebook, and say, you should censor these people. Here's what they're saying. We disagree with it. And I mean, this happened to us at the Federalist. It happened to our CEO, Sean Davis. It happened to our editor-in-chief, Molly Hemingway. Absolutely horrible censorship, and it's happening at the hands of the feds for the last 4 years.
It's absolutely disgusting. And then you've got Senator Chuck Grassley today exposing anti-Trump sentiment that pervaded the FBI under Joe Biden, releasing emails showing how agents planned and celebrated the indictment of Trump advisor Peter Navarro in 2022. Grassley providing the evidence in a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel, saying of his letter, transparency brings accountability, which is why I'm requesting AG Bondi and Director Patel produce all records that further demonstrate this political rot. I know, Jason, you are not a fan of the FBI. I mean, this is a problem that we've been seeing within the FBI, whether it be the Russian hoax, the Steele dossier, now this. I mean, we really need significant reform there.
Yeah, I think we've always needed reform of the FBI going very, very far back. And I don't think it's any different now. I think now it's just the shoes on the other foot with Kash Patel. I would also say with Hunter Biden, we did a segment about a month ago that said that he was broke and couldn't pay his lawyers. So that's probably why he dropped the case, because he can't pay for his attorneys. We did that segment about a month ago.
No one's buying his art.
Well, that too,
but that could be a point.
He's
Chris, I mean, he doesn't have any money for these lawyers, and these cases are expensive.
Well, he's got friends. He's been taking it. He's, maybe some Ukrainians, maybe Burisma, the gas company in Ukraine, could pay his legal fees for him because they were paying him $1 million a year for nothing. And got to say, and I don't think the shoe's on the other foot with the FBI. It's not like the Republicans were using the FBI to attack their Democrat political rivals, which is what happened with the Democrats using the FBI to attack their Republican political rivals. That's what's been going on at the FBI. And we left out the FISA court. They also lied to the FISA courts to spy on their political enemies as well.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.